Para nosotros, Alma eh, es muy importante porque a través de ella podemos dar la mano o alcanzar la mano, como dice, a muchas personas que tienen necesidad.
And I could see a lot of kids missing a lot of stuff, you know, not just material things, but like a hug from the mom or just caring, loving, nice words. And I thought, kind of, you know, a love is missing.
No solamente decirles Dios te ama, Dios te bendiga, sino que también poder demostrar la parte práctica, ¿no?
I hope in my connection with them that they don't just see the support I give them, but as well just God's love and that He loves them.
Alma has three ministries that we want to develop. I have been working since arriving in Kurawasi on an informal basis in these areas. But several years ago, when I then had 9 boys that I was raising in my house, as well working in the hospital, as well working with families, doing Bible studies, discipling people. And I realized that I can't do everything. And then I began to pray that God would give me a way to be able to work with more people, to be able to expand more with what people needed me to do. And so then I started to pray, how could this happen? And the idea came to work with the local Christian people and to try and get Peruvians to care about their own people. And that's where the idea of Alma was born. And so Alma is a Spanish word that means soul, and that's the prime aim always, is to save souls for Christ. But Alma is a shortened version of a Spanish phrase which is alcanzando la mano, and this is like helping hands, giving a helping hand to people. So we're not trying to just support them always, we're just giving a helping hand until they can get to where they can help themselves.
Doy gracias por darnos estos útiles. Gracias todavía y por apoyar a ustedes también. Gracias por apoyar a los otros niños que no tienen para los útiles. Y eso sería todo. Dios los bendiga a todos ustedes.
So the 3 aims of Alma is firstly education, of course. This is the highest priority because that's what we see as giving the people here the future or the resources to be independent themselves. If they have a good education, they can read and write, they can do maths. Maybe they don't study at university afterwards, but at least they can defend themselves in the world. They won't get tricked by people who come and ask them to sign contracts that they can't read, and that's how many people got tricked out of their land. So the education, which are the scholarships to primary school, high school, and to technical colleges, where we're able.
Entonces nosotros también ofrecemos club de tareas. Eso quiere decir que en las tardes de 3 a 5 de la tarde regresan los niños acá al club, ¿no? Donde que puedan realizar sus tareas, como papá y mamá no puedan ayudar en la casa, pero acá trabajamos como 2 o 3 personas para ayudarle en las tareas, como que a la casa ya se van hechas las tareas y el profesor revisa, ya, todo ok, ¿no?
Secondly is social aid. So this is things like we have crisis accommodation for battered women. There are sometimes single mothers that are sick and can't work for a time, and so we help them with food and supplies like this, or somebody who might be homeless, and we try and set them up in a home and give them beds and give them a table and the basic things they need to set themselves up independently.
Mi esposo se fue con otra esposa, se consiguió otra esposa, ya me quedé con mi hijo y con mi primera, con la segunda de mis hijos tuve otro segundo compromiso también, no me fui muy mal, tenía o sea, tomaba bastante, y salí embarazada y me quedé así. Ahorita es muy difícil para mí porque tengo una niña de 11 meses y mi hijo que estudia.
no tengo trabajo. Por eso yo no quiero tanto juntarte, entonces mejor voy a separar dos ahorita, para que dejar a sus hijos nomás. Yo soy de su mamá y yo soy de su papá. Yo nomás he dejado de su papá. No tengo mi mamá, no tengo mi papá. Así sin familia. Y yo camino así, llorando otra casa por otra casa. Así llorando todo. Por eso me dice todo, no llores, Paulina. Pero Dios también te va a ayudar nomás, pero nosotros también vamos a ayudar. Así me ha dicho doctorita.
You know, one thing that's just amazing to me is when you see these women out here, so many are hurting and so many are abused. They're struggling just every single day to be able to make it by and to provide just a little bit of food for their children.
And then the third one is the micro businesses helping single mothers support themselves and support their children. And that's little things like with guinea pigs, raising chickens, raising pigs, or going and cutting alfalfa to sell at the market. And sometimes we help them with a small stall where they might sell juices or some food or something, and they can get their income that way. The children's home grew out of the education program where we saw our main aim is to get kids to finish school. And some children, the ones that live with me, for example, they're orphans or they've been abandoned and they don't have where they can live. And if they don't have where to live, where to eat, what to eat or where to sleep, they can't think about education and doing well in school. And that's the aim of the children's home, is just to give children who have nowhere else to go a place to live, to grow up, to learn about God's love and to study and get that good start in life. One of the big questions that people ask me, obviously, is why, after being here in Kurawasi for 10 years, why am I just recently thinking about building a children's home? I took in the first 5 orphan boys into my home about 5 years ago when their mother died. And after that, more boys came to my home one by one, and I used to think, oh yeah, one more won't make a difference. And then another one comes along, oh, what's one more? And then another one, but when I got to the 9th one, I started to think, one more, God, might be just the straw that breaks the donkey's back. And then I was impacted by several situations which made me think we need to do more. There are more children that need help. One of them was a young 14-year-old girl who came to my door one day and she said, I need somewhere to live. And I said, why? And she said, well, I'm being abused by someone in my house and I can't stand it anymore. And I have told my mum and my mum doesn't believe me, and I told the teacher at school and the teacher said not to make trouble, that it'd only be more trouble for me, and she said, please, please, can you help me? And I had made a decision early on that I would only take in boys to my home because many of them were already teenagers or about to be teenagers, and I fully recognised the complications that could arise by raising teenage boys and girls together in a house. So I needed some time to think of a solution, and I said to her, yes, of course I'm going to help you, and please come back tomorrow and we'll work it out. And the next day, someone came to my house and said, that girl that was at your door yesterday, she has committed suicide. And I was devastated. Obviously, I was devastated. And I thought, why did she do that? If I offered to help her already, why? The only thing I can think of is in Spanish, the word for tomorrow is mañana. And here in this region, a lot of people use the word mañana if they don't really want to do something, actually. Unfortunately, I think that's what she must have thought is, oh, that was my last hope and she won't help me. And then she took her own life, and obviously that really devastated me. And I thought I need to have a plan of where can where can someone who's in immediate danger or immediate need, where can they stay until we work out what to do in the long run. And then several weeks after that, there was a young girl who's actually on our schooling program, and she's an orphan. Her mother and her father have passed away, and she didn't have a permanent home to live in, but she had a grandma, and she had two older siblings who were married with their own children, and she used to live with them for a while with the grandma, and then the grandma would send her to the sister, and then she'd live with the sister for a while, and then the sister would send her to the brother, like this. But she was doing okay. She was staying in school. She would come occasionally to the house to visit, and then one day she just disappeared. When we asked the brother and sister where had she gone, they said we sold her to Arequipa. And it's quite common here, if children are orphans, to be sold to people who have big businesses, so they'll work kind of as slaves, really, in that. And many of them, as you can imagine, are mistreated, many are abused or neglected. And again, it really hit me hard that if we had had a place for this girl to live, she probably would be much better off. And that was when God really spoke to my heart and said, Lyndall, we need a children's home. When God put these situations, I just prayed and I said, well, God, if you want this to happen, but you have to make it happen. And it really has amazed me down this road how God has provided people as we needed people, has provided money as we needed money. And now we have this land, 3,000 square meters to build the children's home on. We have planned for 7 rooms for boys, 7 rooms for girls, accommodation, 4 children in each room. So that's a total of 56 children that we can accept.
So the children's home is split into 3 phases. The first phase is the actual children's home. The second phase will be adding volunteer quarters and office space. And the third phase will be a completion of children's playground and parking area and things like that, just kind of the finishing touches.
Y nosotros el trabajo que estamos realizando acá es por un apoyo en beneficio de los niños pobres, que no tienen mamá ni papá acá en el distrito de Curahuasi. Y ese es el motivo, porque como sabe, acá en el Perú hay muchos niños pobres, primero abandonados por sus papás, sus mamás, y también hay mucho alcoholismo acá, y esa es la razón de que los niños a veces sufren el abandono de sus progenitores.
I want to take the chance to thank all the teams that have come so far. We've had 2 teams. The first one has helped us with bunk beds and some of the things that we need to get started for volunteers to come. We've had a volunteer group help us with the bridge, and we've got a team that we're praying to come, some masons that are going to help us with the footings and the block work. We continue to pray for other people to come and join us in the work here, and we get to know you, and we'll gain prayer partners, and we just love that aspect of it, working alongside other brothers and sisters in Christ.
We really would like to make this a project that has so many hearts and hands involved in it. Our hope is that we would be to opening stage by the end of 2015. We are trusting God to provide the funds as needed. We made a rough calculation, and what we're encouraging people to do is to take on the construction costs of 1 room, which would house 4 children. And the cost of that would be $3,000 per room. And we really hope that people will be excited about doing fundraising projects and participate in this and just provide a Christian home for the kids who will be living in there. And the most important thing, of course, is prayer. And we really pray that God will raise up prayer warriors to help us in this project, because obviously there'll be opposition to it, and the best way we can arm ourselves and defend ourselves is through prayer, that God protects us in everything. We pray that we do everything that would bring glory to God and honour Him in everything, that people will see God working in all of this.
el cuy otra vez? Ok. Y queremos ver al cuy bien grande. ¿Queremos ver al cuy? ¿Son mudos ya? ¡Queremos ver al cuy! ¡Queremos ver al cuy! Ok, tóquelo. Tócalo. Apriételo así. Duro le diste, pobrecito al conejito. Sí. ¿Quién toca? Apriétalo. ¡Lo estás matando! ¡Bueno, mate! Suavecito, ya me lo están ensuciando al pobre cuy. Aquí lo vamos a dejar tranquilo porque si no, se va a descomponer y se me va a huir. Está atrapado así, por eso está amarrado.